Alright, so that's starting the recording, which is good. Now we're going to go live. New event. Oh, what's an event? Title. Playing some GTA online and testing some streaming exclamation point. Oh boy. Exclamation point. Description, sure. Use optimize encoder settings. I'm just gonna leave all that defaulted because I don't know what any of that shit means. So sure as fuck not gonna connect Twitter yet. Confirm and go live. There was an error fetching your channel information. You can try fetching the information again, or you can just go live. See, how do I just go live? Please log out back in to refresh your credentials. See, okay, I already know what this is. When I tried a second ago to stream straight from YouTube, it said, yo, you gotta wait 24 fucking hours. Which, like, I've had this account for 2 years. It said, like, if you if you have just made an account, you have to wait 24 hours. Which I don't understand, because I've had this account for 2 years. So let's see what it says if I try to do it here. Ready in 24 hours. It takes 24 hours to activate your account for live streaming. Once activated, you can go live instantly. So is it just 24 hours after you click go live? That's fucking stupid. Stream now classic. Ready in 24 hours. Takes 24 hours. Why? Why does it take 24 hours just to stream a video game? I mean, for this fucking account that I've had for 2 years, that I've uploaded, like, how many videos have I uploaded? Does it say anywhere about? Got 854 views here, motherfucker. I ain't no peasant. This is some legit 2015, look at that. 5 years ago. Jesus Christ. What? Joined October 10th, 2015? That doesn't sound right. But as I only uploaded, it says, go to my videos, it says I uploaded my first video 2 years ago. Did I have this channel for 3 years before I even uploaded a video? Granted, it's October 2015, so 2.5 years or whatever. That doesn't sound right. Unless, well, I think this channel is connected to my actual Google account, so that would actually make some sense, I guess. Well, fuck it. I guess I'm recording now, so I can't stream yet. So I think what I'm going to do is, well, let's talk. I just want to talk about this. You know, I uploaded all of these fucking videos. This was stemmed from my love of Doki Doki Literature Club, which now, by the way, I'm a college graduate. At the time of these, I was not a college graduate. I was in college. And I wrote a paper about Doki Doki Literature Club. The semester before I graduated, my last semester of college. I wrote a 10-page paper about Doki Doki Literature Club. I fucking love that game. The game is amazing. But anyway, this was stemmed from that because I had just finished it. Like during winter break. I played through the whole thing in like 2 days, and I fell in love with it. And I fell in love with watching people play it because it's like the whole surprise factor kind of a thing. That's what it's all about. So seeing people experience it was really cool, and that made me want to play it, or play, like, play games on the internets. And so I did this. This was a mod for Doki Doki Literature Club because, like I said, I had already played it, and if you played it once, there's no reason really to record yourself playing it again. And yeah, so I started playing it through a mod, and the mod was not that interesting, and also I had a ton of recording problems because I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. So I just went through this, and it was kind of hell because I played through some parts and didn't realize I wasn't recording, and I ended up for the mod having to play through the entire game before even getting to the modded stuff. So like these episodes here, I think this one, some of these are called Doki Doki Literature Club modded, and they're just the regular game. They're not modded, or they are modded games, but I hadn't gotten to any of the modded content, so it was just playing through the regular game, and I didn't know that. And then I think by the time I got to the modded stuff, I did play through it, but I think that was when I stopped recording. I messed up the recording, so I didn't even get to. It was a whole thing. I don't remember exactly what happened, but there's also some PUBG here because I was really into PUBG at the time. But I was really just kind of looking, like trying to figure out what I wanted to stream or record. None of this was streamed. So I did some PUBG because PUBG felt easy because it was a game I actually wanted. Like, I would have been playing PUBG if I wasn't recording anyway. So it was an easy one. I played Hob because Hob looked cool to me, and it was cool. I didn't finish it. I think I didn't. I don't really know why I didn't finish it. It was cool. I might want to go back and play that actually. And then I thought maybe I'd do a Nuzlocke run of Pokemon Emerald. As you can see, I did 2 episodes of that. And then after this video here is me failing the Nuzlocke run immediately. Because it turns out that shit's hard. Pokemon is not a hard game, but when you play it by those rules, it turns out it's actually hard. And that's why people like watching it. And this was not actually, this was an edit of some of these other 2 videos. And I actually posted that some places, so that's why that one has an astounding 116 views. 116 people clicked on this video and then probably immediately clicked off this video. Incredible. And then the dummy experiment. And okay, so there's also a bit of time where, let's see if there's any other games like that, where I just wanted to, like, those are really the only ones, I guess. I just wanted to play random shit. So I went and I just looked. I think these are both from Steam. I just looked and I was like, what are free games on Steam that no one has heard of that I can just play blind? Because I'm really interested in like I mean games that you would now find on like itch.io, like those like game jam made by like 1 or 2 people in like a very short amount of time, like stuff that's made for fun and isn't really made to be profitable or like mainstream or like a game that anyone has heard of. So I did that, and that's where I found the dummy experiment. And this game, Yangbo, which is a Chinese educational game. I didn't know that at the time. I literally started recording it, having absolutely no idea what it was. And it's entirely Chinese, and I beat it, because I'm fucking great. It's a kid's game, but it was in Chinese. So I, didn't know what the fuck I was doing, but I still did it. And then we've got Everlasting Summer here, which is a visual novel. A Russian visual novel. And this was actually where most of my views came from. Again, an astounding 90 views on that bad boy on the first episode, and then obviously progressively less, because that's how videos work. I had a couple of jumps. This one had 30 views. There was one where I named it something like, I put the word, here we go, put sexy in the name. and I got more views, which is funny. I didn't do that intentionally. There's a sexy nurse in the game because it's anime. Russian anime. You know how that is. But anyway, yeah, I started playing that because it was a visual novel and I love Doki Doki Literature Club. Turns out most visual novels are not like Doki Doki Literature Club. That said, this did have kind of a weird twist ending to it. That was actually kind of interesting. I didn't really understand what the hell was going on. But I actually did enjoy this more than I expected to. I don't think I would have enjoyed it if I wasn't recording it. Just because, I don't know, I could talk and read, and I think I did voices or whatever. But that actually was pretty decent. And as you can see, that was easily the longest running thing I did on here. So yeah, that was kind of cool. Where the Water Tastes Like Wine, I did a couple episodes of that because I was interested in what it was. I wasn't that into it, honestly. It was cool idea, but it really wasn't as compelling as I was expecting it to be. I was really interested in video game stories in video games and how they tell different stories, and the way I heard Where the Water Tastes Like Wine, it was sort of pitched as like a short story collection, but in video games, and it is kind of that, but it wasn't as good as I expected it to. It's also all about blues in the South, and I love that kind of music, so I thought I'd be really interested in that. Wasn't that interested. Played Fortnite because you have to. Oxenfree. I don't remember where I heard about Oxenfree. But I heard of it as being like a really good story based game. And I loved it. It was awesome. It's kind of like a horror, but it's like a side-scrolly horror. The art is really cool. It's actually, even though it's not like typically horror games are like first person and jump scary, I think there might have been a couple like jump scary kind of things, but like it's not that, it was mostly just a horror game based around like the story of it. And it was awesome. I really liked that. And this is kind of the reason I got into recording games in the first place, was that like I have this horrible habit of like anytime I want to sit down and play a game, I just play games I've already played before, or play like multiplayer games that you don't have to like think about, and then I'll put on YouTube or watch something in the background as well. And that made it to where like there was a bunch of games, like look at my Steam library, like tons of games on here that I would like to play but haven't, because they don't fall into that sort of category of games. Like let me find some here that I would like. Fez, it's a very puzzle-based game. Gone Home, perfect. Like a story-based kind of like game like that. Lots of game. Inside. I've had Inside. I started streaming partially because like Inside has just been this game that I've owned. I loved Limbo so much, and I've just had this game forever. I bought it forever ago, and I haven't touched it. I don't think I've even tried to launch it. I haven't, because it doesn't say I've put any hours into it. And this is exactly the kind of game I'm talking about. Like a kind of game where you have to like really sit down and focus and like take it all in like you would a movie or something like that. But like when I sit down to play a game, 9 times out of 10, I just want to put on YouTube in the background and just sort of zone out for a few hours and then go to bed. And Inside doesn't really lend itself very well to that. And so that's why I wanted to stream or record. Now I'm going to be streaming, hopefully. Because it's like it forces you to not have anything on in the background, which makes it so that you can just really absorb what you're playing. But then also like just sort of new games, like any game that is not like that would take time to learn, are also games that I would shy away from. Like Hello Neighbor, like Metro is another game I've been wanting to play, that because I played the first one a long time ago, and been wanting to play that to like uh, wrap up that story because I liked the first game a lot. Pony Island, I bought that because I was really interested in Doki Doki Literature Club, and I hear this does similar things. Prey, another one of those story-based single-player games that would be great to stream. It took me forever. Like Red Dead Redemption 2 was like my favorite new game that I've played in a long time, and it took me forever. Like I bought this game in December, and I don't think I started playing it until like February or something. Because I was like, oh, I'd have to, sit down and just play it and not watch something in the background or whatever, and I'd have to learn all, everything about it and all that stuff. And turns out once I did it, fucking incredible game. I've got tons of games on here that I would. Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice. I'm stuck on a boss. I'd love to stream that. Soma, sort of again with Prey. I've had this game forever. Single player game, story based kind of game. Would love to get on and play that. Subnautica, I'm actually really excited. That might be like one of my first games that I'll stream. I have this dumb idea, which I'll talk about in a minute. But after I do that dumb idea, I might stream Subnautica because it's a beautiful game and it's right up my alley. I love like Ark survival. I played the crap out of that game, and this is sort of in that same vein, but it's underwater, which means I will be terrified the entire fucking time. So that would be really good. Lots of games. Splinter Cell. I loved Conviction. Was that right? Conviction? Splinter Cell Conviction. I loved that one. I've played bits and pieces of the older ones, but like this one seemed like an interesting resurgence. Have not played any of it. The Witness, another one. World War Z, I downloaded that. I got it, I think it was free on the Epic Store. And I downloaded it because I loved the book. World War Z, the book, is fantastic. I recommend anyone who likes zombie stuff. It's a really cool book. Movie was terrible, and I just thought it'd be funny to play a game based on a movie based on a book that I love. Even though I'm sure this is based on the movie, like I already know, because of course it is. But that'd be cool. And then these ones, I don't know, Yumniki. That's another like horror creepy game that people like, I guess. But yeah, and then there's lots of things. But anyway, my dumb idea, which I'll get out there really quickly, is I want to play fishing games, which ties into Subnautica actually. But I wanted to play fishing games because we're all quarantined right now, and like fishing, like I don't think I feel like I remember playing a couple of like fishing games, like when I was real little. But like I didn't really play a lot of fishing games, but I played a bunch of games with fishing mini games in them, and for whatever reason, those are like they just bring joy, like they feel very nostalgic because like back in the day, every game had a fishing mini game for whatever fucking reason. Like I remember, like Animal Crossing comes to mind. It's sort of not quite the same thing, but like Twilight Princess had a fishing mini game, and that sticks into my mind for some reason. Sonic Adventure 1, which I have on here, has a notorious, or infamous, I guess, fishing mini game. Which, like I said, like looking back on is probably fucking terrible, but at the time, like it was just pretty. Like it was pretty and it made you feel good. Like the water was pretty. So it's like, of course we're going to have a fishing mini game. But it turns out it's awful. But at the time I loved it because I was a stupid kid. But anyway, so I downloaded a bunch of these like free to play fishing games. I was just on one of them a second ago. Like 3D, what was it? 3D fishing. It's called. That one looks like the most fun. But I downloaded a few free to play fishing games, which are surprisingly like quite a few of them on Steam. I guess because I don't know, fishing games are popular. I don't know, they're like hunting games. Like there's a select group of people that like play fishing games and don't really play a lot of other games. It's like sports, hunting, and fishing are like those types of games that like people will play just those and not really care about anything else. So they have a bunch of them, and I downloaded like 3 or 4 that are all sort of different kinds. Like I have this one called Russian Fishing 4, which I downloaded because it's Russian, and I think that's funny. I don't know. Then there's 3D fishing, or the Fishing Club 3D, which looks like the best because it looks like it harkens more toward like the stuff I liked, like the mini game, like cartoony kind of stuff. And there's Fishing Planet, which I think is like the hyper realistic one. And then there was one. God, I don't know if I'll be able to find it, but it's a fishing game set in the apocalypse. Here, wait a minute. If I go to home, Adam Fishing 2, which is like set in a, I assume, nuclear apocalypse, which sounds like it's such a ridiculous thing. And apparently you can play as a woman in a bikini, because of course you can. But anyway, it just seems like such a ridiculous thing that I would like to play that. So that's the first thing I'm going to do. But yeah, I mean, after that, I'll probably just stream mostly games that I would have to like force myself to play, which sounds bad. Like I don't want to play bad games, just games that like don't fall into my like relaxation kind of games, like just the way that I play games to relax. So I'll probably just do that. And I don't really care if anybody watches, because that's not really the point. And it'd be fun if people watched. I'm not saying like I'm not reverse psychologizing anybody, but like that's not the point. The point is to like play games that I've been wanting to play and probably wouldn't have played otherwise. And if people watch and want to like join in that experience of like experiencing a game, or maybe it's a game they like or whatever, seeing someone experience a game that they like, or experiencing a game for the first time, that's great. And I'd like to participate or have them participate, but like otherwise that's not really the point. Or also like another thing, like the same like stemming out of like this fishing thing and stuff, I just want to play like random ass games. Like one of my favorite things to do is go on itch.io and like purposefully try to find like the most obscure, like perfect, like that's perfect right out of the gate here. One Night at Gina's, so Five Nights at Freddy's clone. Beautiful. I love itch.io. Even though I like never play any of these games, that's why I would want to stream them. I never play any of them, but they look fucking incredible to me, like a bad movie. I'm sure some of them are great, but like a lot of them, like what I like to do is I just go to most recent, which is what I'm already on. Okay, yeah, that's why we're getting some of the weird stuff. Because if you go to the most popular, then you get probably some good stuff. Like that sounds interesting. I don't know. I mean, most of it's horror games, because for whatever reason, people on itch.io like horror games. Like this one looks cool. Like mimicking a like PlayStation 1 game. Lots of horror games. This one's like a PlayStation 2 game. Which I like the idea of all this stuff. I mean, I like itch.io because like you find a lot of games that are very like the most niche, right? Like these games are not, a lot of these games aren't meant to appeal to anyone. They're meant to appeal to the person who made them. And that's when you get like the weirdest kind of stuff. That looks too good. That's another thing. I like to find games that look too good, because when you play them they're going to be completely different. Like this looks like Dark Souls, like straight up. I'm going to add this to my list and maybe I'll play that. This looks way too good. And maybe it is good. I really enjoyed it. The graphics and environments are really well done. Superb, really well done. It's an awesome endeavor for just being your work. Clearly all the prototype jaggies are there, but they were not even to bothering this person. It's clearly not someone who knows English. I have one question on the combat that I haven't understood. When you press blah, 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 blah. It's a pretty impressive demo. That atmosphere is spot on. Feedback-wise, as I mentioned, there is a lot to be done. Tuning for the fighting and singular attacks. Maybe it is good. I don't fucking know. I mean, it's on the most popular list. I mean, if something's going to be good, it would be here. But, yeah, but like you just get like the most niche stuff. Like a lot of games, like you have a lot of like the retro revival, you know, where you have a lot of games that are harkening back to like NES and SNES games. But you don't see a lot of games harkening back to like PlayStation 1 or even PlayStation 2 yet, which is what I grew up with. But clearly that's what these people grew up with, and that's what they're doing, sort of making these games that, I mean, that one doesn't seem like it, but making these games that like reference or like are, you know, meant to resemble in some way those older games. And then there's I have a bunch of these downloaded, I think. COVID like related games, because why not? Man, there's a lot of these. Are these maybe the same guy? Kevin Hutchins? No. They just all have the like PlayStation thing on the cover that make it look like a PlayStation cover. But anyway, yeah, these are the popular ones. Is that Alice? Is that like Alice in Wonderland? That's cool. Alyssa, not Alice. Okay. Yeah, but like this isn't the shit that I would want to be looking at. I would want to be looking at this stuff. The free games that were uploaded the most recently. Like this Five Nights at Freddy's clone. And Grill Cheese Simulator, which I'm sure is great. You know, it's a hidden gem, obviously. Pac-Man. A rally cool game. 5 cards. That might be fun if it's like a card game. The Electrician. I mean, you see a lot of like horror games in here too, which I love, because good horror games are good. That's another thing. Like I want to stream games because I would never play horror games on my own. That's why I haven't played Prey or Soma. And this would give me an excuse to do that. But also, like, bad horror games are great in their own way. So, yeah, lots of really stupid things here that I would be excited to play. But yeah, I don't know what this is now. This was like I was going to stream and then I didn't. So, yeah, that's what this is gonna. This is what's gonna happen. I'm gonna do those things I said, and maybe I won't do it in 24 hours because tomorrow I'm playing D&D. And Monday I'm doing classwork. So maybe in a week, maybe less than a week. I don't fucking know. Stay tuned. No one's gonna watch this, so whatever.